Alright, welcome back to some more Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. I left it with just wondering about the one question the judge has for Phoenix. I hope this doesn't turn out to be a bad question, because that's just what we need. While we listen to this awesome okay. Yes, Your Honor. If Mr. Justice didn't leave this message in blood, then who did? Huh? 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 Why are you giving that smug face with the huh? What? Oh! Well, like it matters, because found out that it wasn't her. Right? 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 Looks like I should have taken that train of thought through to the last station. Well, my hair thinks that it's heard enough about this. So, this is Mr. Wright's famous bluffing technique, is it? Ah, this feeling. Ha ha! It brings back so many memories from the old days. Ha 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 ha! Oh man, all the way bringing it back to like, what, 2001 or something when this game first came out in Japan? Ha 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 ha! Back when you carved out a name for yourself by bluffing your way through thick and thin. Ha 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 ha! Ho 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 ho! Look at me, I'm Santa Claus with my beard. Gee, Mr. Wright, the judge kind of makes you sound no better than a 2-bit con man. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Athena. You made your argument with such confidence, Mr. Wright. Now, I'd like to hear your answer with just as much confidence. Hey, until the judge asked the question, you didn't even catch on either, Buster. What now, boss? I hope you didn't bluff your way into a corner and get cornered with this music. Think, Phoenix. Think. There must be a way through this. There must be. I have to dig my way to the truth somehow. Who could have written that message into blood? Apollo did it! The culprit? No. Someone else! Someone else! If it wasn't Apollo who could have left the bloody message, I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious, because we already know who it is, but also, you noticed how said person left the courtroom because he had to take care of some business? It was Ted Tonate! Take that! This person left the bloody writing? And what do you base this claim on? Do I really need to base my claim on something? Boss! I just based it! Didn't you just hear him? Fine! Of course you do! Don't tell me you don't have anything at all to to back up your assertion? Nothing in particular, really. Yes, you do! I just said it! That won't do, Mr. Wright, but a penalty will make up for your deficiency very nicely. So it wasn't Apollo or his attacker. When you think about who was at the crime scene, there's only one person who could really be. Wait, what? Candace? Oh yeah! Wasn't there another person who shed blood at the crime scene? Yes. It wasn't Apollo who could have left the bloody message. Why would it be her? What? Fine. Fine. Take that! To be honest, I don't actually have any real proof of this. But I've come this far. There's no turning back now. This is the part where I was talking about. Besides Apollo, there was one more person who shed blood at this crime scene. A person who shed blood? You don't mean... Oh, but I do. I believe it was Candace Arm who left behind this message in blood. What? This is what I was talking about before. I was thinking... Whatever. What? Detective Arm? Are you sure you know what you're doing here? Yeah, tell me about it. I don't know. Not really? Yeah, thanks. That's pretty much my exact thoughts. Objection! Objection! What kind of ridiculous assertion is that? You had said the attacker left a message to throw people off. It might have made sense. At first glance, that would seem to be the most reasonable explanation. However, Apollo didn't shed enough blood to write such an extensive message. Uh-oh! Ruh-roh! Ah, I see. Even the photo makes it clear there wasn't enough blood to write all those letters. And Mr. Justice did survive. I suppose he didn't bleed very extensively in that case. But why would Detective Arm write the defendant's name? Unless she really did it! That's where I'm going with this. There's no connection between the two whatsoever! And I didn't even know the lady who was killed! Isn't that true? I admit, the investigation didn't turn up any connection between the victim and defendant. Oh, right, that thing that happened like 2 weeks ago. That I'd remember. They had never even met each other. That's very true. Well then, let's see. Then maybe the intended meaning of the message is not what it appears to be. The intended meaning? Not what it appears to be? Maybe the message was not intended to be words. What was it supposed to be? Moods? SD Ud? Ooh? What? You're confusing me just as much as the judge right now, Phoenix. Coming from you, that's quite the bold statement, Mr. Wright. I mean, seriously. You've made some very, very, very far-fetched accusations, but this is ridiculous. You wish to assert that this bloody writing could have some other meaning behind it? Yes, Your Honor! Hmm. For something I pulled out of a wormhole, it could turn out to be true. Right?
Objection!
Hef! It clearly says woods, as anyone can plainly see. What other meaning could it possibly have?
Objection!
But Candace's arm was a detective. Maybe woods only means something to the police. What, like a code name or something? Like a police scanner code, for example. I didn't think of that. You may have tricked his honor, but you'll never get the best of me. I have a thing for studying on the weekends, as you may have already guessed. And there's no such radio talk as woods in this state, dear Mr. Wright. Is that a fact? Don't look at me. I know as much as you do about police codes. Enough of this. I was quite taken with the defense's new theory. But if they can't substantiate it with anything, then I must end things here. No! I want Detective Gumshoe here! And to clear this up! No! Please, wait, Your Honor! Very well, but before we discuss this theory any further, I demand a plausible explanation. So, Mr. Wright, what is the true meaning of the bloody writing? Well, I believe it's... And no stalling! If you can't come up with an answer quickly, I will declare this discussion officially over! I'm in trouble now. What other meaning could it have besides the obvious one? Maybe it means something in another language? Or maybe it's a code? Think, Phoenix! You can do this! Which piece of evidence tells us what the word woods really means? I don't have much to go on, but let's see. I got a switch. We got an attorney's badge! Actually, I feel like doing it, but I don't have that much life bar left. Let's see. Why is there a crack on the timer? Wait. I'm gonna save I'm gonna save down here just in case. Cause I'll use this as in case my recording goes bad, and I'll use this for my in case I screw up big time. Take that! What exactly is your point, Mr. Wright? I thought this evidence was supposed to tell me what woods really means. But doesn't it, Your Honor? Are you asking me or telling me? I guess I'll let you be the judge of that. Yes, I'll do the judging around here. And I judge that you deserve a penalty. That didn't go over well. But I just know there's something here that looks like the word woods. Looks like the word woods? Really? What looks like woods? I don't see anything that looks like woods. I mean, unless, wait a second. That don't look like a woods. That don't look like a woods either. Well, obviously that looks like a woods, but yeah. I'm looking. Would have thought that would have been it because it has a W and a D on it, but... If this isn't it, then I'll be... Let me think about this for a second. Let me just think about this for a second.
Take that!
The bomb transport case? Yeah. I don't know why it looks like woods, but... I've had it up to here with your shenanigans, Mr. Wright! Take a look at the numbers on this case, Your Honor. L10015R. Doesn't this string look vaguely familiar? If it's from 2 weeks ago, then... L100. What does that have to do with anything? What could those numbers possibly have to do with the case at hand? Now please take a look at that bloody writing shown in the crime photo. Wait. I still don't see it except that S looks like a 5, but that's the only thing I see. That a girl. That's one on my side. It says woods. Or you could say it's a horse of a different color, Your Honor. I'm still in the dark in this one. The first letter isn't a W. It's actually an L and a 1 next to 2 zeros. What? Are you freaking serious? What? Are you freaking serious? But an L and an upside down one? That's the only thing I think of. Whatever. Whatever. I'll go with the Phoenix. It doesn't look like it to me, but whatever. Oh! My goodness! Oh my goodness! The true meaning behind the bloody writing isn't Miss Woods' name. It's the number engraved on this bomb transport case. I don't get it, but whatever, because it don't look like a... That don't look like a 1 and an L and a 1. What are you talking about? The next part doesn't even make any sense. The next number is a 1, but the bloody writing says D. Objection! But the number on the case and the bloody writing can be made to match up quite easily. This is how the number on the transport case can be made to match the bloody writing. Wait. Read it backwards. Ah! I'm still... I'm just gonna do this because I am so lost in the dark right now. I was good until the numbers come along because... That makes no sense. Like, that L and 1 doesn't look anything. Unless the L has like 3 lines in it, an L that's like, that... Erase 2 lines! Please erase the third downward stroke of the W and the curved part of the D. Now it makes sense. And then, that's what that was right there. Someone's tampering with evidence! Well, would you look at that? L-I-O-O-I-S? No. No, Your Honor. It is meant to be read as a word. It isn't meant to be read as a word. It's the number L10015, which is, if you take away that final R, is the exact same number that's on the bomb transport case. Okay, now it makes perfect sense to me, even though the cart was over the thing before. But then that's when Apollo came and took a hit to the head, and then his blood... Pretty much if you have the blood examined by the lab, I'm betting 2 cases of blood would appear probably. Humph! Erase 2 lines and they match up, you say? Well, I can change anything into anything else simply by erasing 2 lines. What if we erase 2 lines from your name? Would you be happy as Mr. Wright? Well, would you, Mr. Wright? This whole entire video is going to be made a mockery of. The only right spelling is right. Okay, I'm doing pretty well here, and I think I've drawn out the right conclusion. Detective Arm's real message to us is the bomb transport case number. Your Honor, the 2 lines were added by the real culprit to intentionally mislead people. What? The original message Detective Arm left behind was the transport case number. But whoever assaulted Apollo changed the message. If you're right, boss, then what do you suppose Detective Arm was trying to tell us? Good question. What does this number represent? Do you see this number here? That is my identification number. Ooh, that would be even more. I completely forgot about that. If I probably didn't forget about that since it was 2 weeks ago, I would have probably been like, wait a minute. Okay, Candace Arm lost her life in the courtroom bombing. Her dying message could have only had one purpose. No! You wouldn't! I would. To tell us the name of the one responsible for the bombing. Well? Don't keep us in suspense, Mr. Wright! Tell us who she was trying to name! I should so keep everyone in suspense in the video, but no, I won't. The culprit that the victim was trying to identify is none other than... Ted Tonate! The defense wishes to indict Ted Tonate on the charge of the courtroom bombing! You see his hand pointing while it does that? Ted Tonate? Apparently, disabling bombs isn't Mr. Tonate's only specialty. Somehow, the victim must have realized that he was the bomber. So when she was caught in the blast, she left his bomb transport case number as her dying message. She used Mr. Tonate's own ID number to finger him for the crime, for an exact identification number that only he has. Why would anyone go out of their way to write an ID number? Didn't you just hear me? Didn't you just hear me? Wouldn't they simply write the person's name? Some people can have more than one, like, if it's Ted, someone else could be named Ted. He's got a good point there. What do you have to say about that, Mr. Wright? That only Detective Arm would know the answer to that, but allow me to offer a theory. Perhaps Detective Arm couldn't recall Mr. Tonate's name in the heat of the moment. As I recall, this was the first meeting between the two. It's entirely possible they wouldn't have been familiar with each other. Or maybe using the ID number was a way to hide its true meaning from the real culprit, thus lowering the odds that they would erase the bloody writing. But no matter what reason, the important thing is the meaning behind her message. The fact remains, she wrote Mr. Tonate's ID number. Now, just one moment here. There hasn't been any proof yet that it was indeed Detective Arm who wrote it. The bloody writing wasn't found during the investigation after the blast. If Detective Arm had left a message, it should have been found at that time. Objection! Oh, but naturally, Mr. Tonate did hide it before it could be discovered. How did he hide it? Come on, object me. Object me! There's a simple explanation for how he was able to do so. What? Mr. Tonate was able to cover the message because he's a stickler for detail. Let's see. The first to find the body. That seems right, actually. The first person to discover the bloody writing was Mr. Tonate himself. I don't remember that testimony, but that seems like the most obvious thing, because if he was the killer, he would be the first one there. I was the first one at the scene after the explosion. Okay. I went there to ensure safety, but I ended up discovering a dead body. When Mr. Tonate saw that the victim had written his ID number, he used the bomb transport case to cover up the bloody writing as a stopgap measure. Oh, so that's why the message in blood was under the transport case. He didn't have enough time to try and scrub away the writing. If he didn't report the body right away, he would have looked suspicious. So those letters lived on to serve another function. When Mr. Tonate used them in another incident! Oh! The assault on Mr. Justice! Exactly. Mr. Tonate hit upon a plan to use the bloody writing for his own purposes, so he didn't clean it away. Instead, he made it look like Mr. Justice wrote it by adding 2 lines to the writing that Detective Arm left behind. He changed the meaning of the message. He made it look like Mr. Justice was accusing Miss Woods of the attack. So that means the only person who could have altered the bloody writing was the courtroom bomber, who was the same person that assaulted Mr. Justice. And that person is Ted Tonate! As my green screen went, and... Order in the court! Order, I say! It looks like we will have to hear from the bomb specialist himself again. Mr. Payne, please have Mr. Tonate take the witness stand this instant! Yes, Your Honor. That was great, Mr. Wright. No bluffing involved or anything at all. Just doing what I do best, which is flying by the seat of my pants. Dismantling the case is yours. Do you think you can handle it? I look forward to seeing you try. I've finally drawn out Mr. Tonate back onto the witness stand. Looks like you'll get your wish, Goggle Man. Now watch me take your lies apart. Next time. What? No, I was being serious. Next time. Yeah. Yeah, we did a lot. I screwed up a lot. And then and then this happened. Yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope to catch you all next time.